I had lived next to that lake for nearly 12 years. Or at least, that's what everyone called it. From my back porch, it looked peaceful enough. Wide, still water reflecting the sky, cattails lining the edges, birds drifting lazily across the surface. It had fooled me at first, too, back when my wife and I bought the property. The realtor called it a natural community water feature. The neighbors called it the lake. And the HOA, oh, they called it the crown jewel of the neighborhood. But the county? The county called it something very different. And I was about to learn just how dangerous it was when entitled people ignored that difference. It started on a Saturday morning in early June, the kind of day that feels like summer has officially clocked in. Clear blue sky, warm breeze, grills firing up across the neighborhood. I was halfway through my coffee when I heard the first engine. At first, I thought someone was mowing their lawn early. Then the sound got louder, sharper, faster. I stepped out onto my deck and froze. There were boats on the water. Not fishing boats, not kayaks. Speedboats, brightly colored, loud, slicing through the surface of the lake like it was a professional racetrack. One after another, circling in wide loops, engines roaring, water spraying into the air. And standing right at the shoreline, clipboard in hand, sunglasses on, arms crossed like a proud general inspecting her troops, was Karen. I knew her real name, of course. Everyone did. But in our neighborhood, she had earned her title. She was the HOA president, and she was smiling like she owned the world. I stared, heart pounding, because I knew something she clearly didn't. Or worse, something she refused to accept. That water wasn't a lake. It was a county livestock waste retention pond. And people were about to race boats in it. Let me rewind, because to understand how insane this situation was, you need to understand Karen, the HOA, and what that lake really was. When the neighborhood was built 15 years earlier, the developer needed a solution for runoff from nearby cattle farms. The county approved a livestock waste pond, a regulated containment basin designed to hold agricultural runoff, manure waste, and overflow during heavy rains. It was never meant for recreation. No swimming, no fishing, no boating. There were signs, county records, environmental reports. But then came the HOA. Karen had moved in about 4 years ago. She had that energy, tight smile, stiff posture, the kind of person who corrected your grammar mid-sentence and smiled while doing it. Within 6 months, she ran for HOA president. Within a year, she acted like she was the mayor, sheriff, and judge of the entire county. She fined people for trash cans being visible for more than 10 minutes. She cited homeowners for unauthorized bird feeders. She once threatened legal action over a garden gnome. So when she announced, via a mass HOA email, that the neighborhood would be hosting its first annual summer splash boat race, people were confused, but not surprised. The email said, "Our beautiful community lake deserves to be celebrated. This family-friendly event will include small watercraft races, prizes, and refreshments. Attendance is mandatory for participating homeowners." Mandatory. On a livestock waste pond. I replied immediately. I sent county documents, environmental warnings, a copy of the actual designation of the water body. Her response? One sentence. "The HOA has determined the pond qualifies as a recreational lake." That was it. No discussion, no vote, no county approval, just entitlement, printed in black and white. By Friday night, banners were up. Summer splash boat race. HOA approved event. I barely slept. By Saturday morning, trucks with trailers rolled in, families gathered, kids ran around barefoot near the water's edge. And Karen stood there, clipboard in hand, beaming. That's when I smelled it. Not the usual faint odor you noticed on humid days. This was worse. Sharp, sour, heavy. I walked down to the fence separating my property from the water and yelled out, "Hey, you can't do this! That's not a lake!" Karen turned slowly like a villain in a movie. She lowered her sunglasses and said, "Sir, if you're not participating, please stop causing a disturbance." That was the moment. The exact second. When I realized this wasn't just ignorance. This was going to end badly. The crowd was clapping, actually clapping. I stood there in disbelief as the first race officially began. 2 speedboats lined up near the shore, engines revving, exhaust bubbling through the water. Karen raised her arm. "On my signal," she shouted. I looked around, searching for someone, anyone, with authority. Police, county officials, environmental officers. Nothing. Just neighbors, lawn chairs, kids holding popsicles, and one woman drunk on power. The boats took off. Water sprayed everywhere, and within seconds, people started coughing. At first it was subtle. One man cleared his throat. A woman wrinkled her nose. Then someone shouted, Why does it smell like that? The wind shifted. That was when it hit them. The true smell, not lake water, not algae, but livestock waste, years of it, churned up by engines slicing through the surface. The water turned darker, murkier. Foam gathered near the edges. A kid screamed, "Mom, my eyes burn!" I saw one of the boat drivers slow down, panic on his face. Another kept going, until his engine sputtered, then died. The boat drifted sideways. Applause turned to confusion. Confusion turned to panic. Karen waved her arms wildly. "Everyone remain calm," she shouted. "This is normal." "Normal," a man near me yelled back. "Normal for what? A sewer?" Then it happened. One of the boats hit a submerged aeration pipe, installed by the county to manage waste gases. The impact threw the driver forward. He went face first into the water. There was a split second of silence. Then screaming. They pulled him out coughing, gagging, covered in thick brownish water. His skin was red, his eyes swollen. Someone yelled, "Call 911." Karen stepped forward. "No, this is a private HOA event." But it was too late. Multiple phones were already dialing. And somewhere deep in the system, the county was about to find out exactly what she'd done. The first sirens arrived within 15 minutes. Fire trucks, ambulances, then county environmental enforcement. They took one look at the water, and then at Karen. "Who authorized this?" Karen straightened her shoulders. "I did, as HOA president." The officer blinked. "You authorized recreational activity on a livestock waste retention pond?" "Yes," she snapped. "It's within HOA jurisdiction." The officer didn't raise his voice, didn't argue. He just said, "Ma'am, this pond contains untreated agricultural runoff. Exposure can cause chemical burns, respiratory distress, and infection." Silence. You could hear people breathing. Another officer walked over with a tablet. "This pond is registered with the county. Any disturbance requires permits. Violations carry fines up to..." He paused. $250,000 per incident. Karen's face went pale. Children were being checked by EMTs. The boat driver was loaded into an ambulance. Neighbors backed away from the shoreline in horror. Karen whispered, "That can't be right." The officer turned the tablet toward her. "It is." That was when she tried to blame me. She pointed. "He disrupted the event. He spread panic." The officer looked at me. I held up the email, the documents, the warnings I had sent days earlier. He read them, then looked back at Karen. "You were informed." She didn't respond, because for the first time, her authority meant nothing. The fines came fast. Environmental violations, endangerment, unauthorized event. The HOA insurance refused coverage. The county billed cleanup costs. Lawsuits followed. Parents sued. The injured man sued. The county pursued penalties. Karen resigned within a week, sold her house within a month. The HOA disbanded shortly after. And the pond? It's fenced now, with big red signs. "No entry, county waste facility." Every time I walk past it, I remember the applause, the engines, the smell, and how entitlement doesn't just annoy people. Sometimes, it poisons everything it touches. This story isn't about a boat race. It's about arrogance. About people who think power comes from a title instead of responsibility. Karen didn't listen, didn't research, didn't care, and a whole neighborhood paid the price. So if there's one lesson here, it's this. Just because someone calls something a lake, doesn't mean you should jump in.